Hello everyone, Zelleranth here, and for today's video on Umamusume, we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming Uma and support card banners that'll be dropping here in the next day. So with this, we're going to be getting the cards that we've already talked about a little bit in the past, which is going to be the one that we're getting more free pulls on, which is the Tokai Teio SSR Wit and the Twin Turbo SSR Guts card. But paired alongside it, we're also going to be getting two new Umas, which is going to be the Winning Ticket Steampunk Edition and Narita Taishin Steampunk Edition. Like all my videos, we're going to take a look at the Umas, kind of talk about whether or not you might want to pull for them, as well as with the support cards, the same thing. Now, this is coming right off the new scenario banner, so I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to pull on these. But for that matter, let's just go ahead and take a look at them and see if they might be something you want to pick up in the future as well. So first, we are going to take a look here at Winning Ticket Steampunk. So stat bonus wise, he does have some power bonus. Always like to have power bonus on my Umas. It just makes building them so much easier. It's going to be even more true now with trying to really get that 1200 power. While hitting speed a crap ton with multiple speed cards. Although, Grand Live, I will say, with how much of a problem stamina is going to be, potentially having a stamina bonus might help, but then again, you're not really hitting it too much. You're more or less getting it from sparks, mostly. But overall, pretty good there. It's your typical winning ticket, though, in aptitudes. One of the nice things with winning ticket is she's A in 3 things, so very easy to get medium A sparks. Although F Mile and G Dirt makes it a little bit harder now for getting the dirt rotation going. But definitely possible. We have plenty of Umas that are in this scenario. But the G really makes it a little bit more tricky. You're only going to really be able to get her with like a really, really good dirt rotation, which is going to take a long time to get. I mean, I've been suffering with the auto. But it's going to take a really long time to get that really optimized one for all the different variations of Umas. And I think at max, you're going to at best get it to like a guaranteed at 70 or higher on everything with this kind of setup. Very similar to TM Opera O, other than TM Opera O having E. She's got a little bit easier to get those. But, I mean, we have the OG one. I mean, so if you really needed her for great grandparent grinding, you have the OG for that. That's not one of her specialties in its own right. Now, when it comes to a unique ticket to your dreams, this is another one of those velocity ones. Moderately increase velocity steadily when in a mid-pack or further back on the final straight in the last spurt. And then the effect increases when activating other skills. So this can really ramp up her speed at the end to pass other Umas. Not having any major conditions other than being greater than equal to 4th once you're in the last spurt and last straight. To get some big speed, scaling speed here. It does last 6 seconds, so it's a very long one. And then it adds an additional 0.05 per skill activated on that. Now, when we get into the other skills, you're going to kind of see she's more targeted towards mediums. With her skills down here, at least one of them. Now, innate skills, we have Downhill Speedster for... I think there's like one. There's like one racetrack where this is going to have the most value. A speed increase on a downhill. There is, I don't know if it's the next one or the one after, where the downhill is like right before the late race. This is the one where Christmas Ogre Cap is going to be a monster, being able to use the downhill heal to be consistent alongside 777 to get carryover speed and acceleration. Something like this has kind of potential with that as well. She has the 1.5 million CC and the gold version of that, which is a big velocity skill on an uphill. We got All You Got Precision Pilfer. A lot of the late surger stuff, she is dedicated to being a late surger. And then Come What May, the medium specific skill. And then a lot of the skills you already know about within her normal kit. I mean, you got Nimble Nav, Late Surger Straightaways, Corners, Provisional. She just, like, has everything late kind of built in, which is pretty nice overall on her. And then, when we get evolutions, eventually, she evolves this, I believe, to be a even longer. Yeah, she takes it from lasting 2.4 seconds to lasting 4 seconds. And then Come What May, I believe is the same thing. Goes from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Just making everything last longer, which can be pretty good. especially when the longer medium tracks. Yeah, and SAJ is mentioning after school stroll is the heal for end closers for the downhill. But that is your winning ticket. Nothing too crazy. Nothing. I mean, I do like the alt. I mean, should be fairly consistent. And on the last straight, if you're not able to activate it, hopefully it's because you're already so far ahead that you're winning. But I mean, greater than or equal to 4 can be a pain in the butt. Because I would hope you have very strong acceleration sometimes coming out of that corner. And maybe you've already blown by enough people to be in 3rd, 2nd, or 1st. And now you no longer have access to the skill. But outside of that, it's pretty consistent and when it's going to activate. Wrong thing here. The next one we have here is going to be Narita Taishin Steampunk. So we already know Narita Taishin being very, very strong on specific tracks because she has built-in encroaching shadow. Now coming into the Steampunk one, the mix of her stat bonuses, 8% stam, guts, and 14% wit. Nothing too crazy. Like, I mean, they're the stat bonuses. Not really liking them. But then again, I didn't really like the OGs either with 20% on guts. Still basically the same setup here. Turf, medium, long, and end. Mile D, same situation if you want to try and dirt rotator. Now, with her alt, it's not really one that you're trying to inherit off, so you probably wouldn't even have to worry about her at all in that respect anyway. But her unique is aim higher, increasing the velocity from the mid-pack upon approaching the final straight late race. So this one is, and so you have to be in 7th through 4th. Kind of makes me feel like it's fairly similar to her other alt. Just a big speed increase in that, kind of coming out of the corner into the late race. So this one should be consistent as long as you're in the positioning. It has to be 7th through 4th, which, I mean, it makes sense. If you're farther than 7th back, you're already probably lost with her anyway. And it's your typical Narita Taishin. She does have a Nimble Nav built in. Has Breaking Ahead, which is a speed and movement skill. And From the Brink for your medium gamble. So, right now at this one, I believe, is it's a little bit harder skill to get. With the Serious Assembly card kind of sucking and being a gamble card. And we're not going to be getting the Neo Universe for a little bit, so Narita Taishin will be the only one that has access to it easily. And it's just another one of those ones to make her a little bit more useful on mediums, because right now, mostly, she's been good on the miles and the longs, at least easiest to build for those. So it makes it a little bit better for her on the mediums. Typical same thing you already have with Narita Taishin here, but nothing too crazy. We have medium corners, long corners. And when it comes to the evolutions, when we get them, Breaking Ahead evolves to, I believe it becomes longer. Yeah, longer, 3.4. And then From the Brink, it makes it less of a gamble. Yeah, from position in the mid-pack or further during the early part of the late race. Or is it just longer? Oh, it makes it last longer. From 1.8 to 4 seconds. And so, overall, not too bad, but not too crazy. I actually still prefer the OG Narita Taishin, but she works definitely better on certain tracks compared to the other ones. They kind of have their separate rules, whether they're trying to do the mediums or the longs / miles and shorts. Now, when it comes to the support cards, this is the one I think a lot of people are thinking about, because this is the one that has Tokai Teio Wit. And she is also paired with another SSR card, an SSR Guts Twin Turbo. So, looking at Tokai Teio Wit, if there's anything you were going to pull on, this would probably be the banner. But to me, this is your whale banner. This is where you're going above and beyond to really give yourself that flexibility. And the biggest thing with Tokai Teio Wit, you notice right off the bat when you look at her, before even looking at her stat stick and all that, is she has Professor of Curvature built in. So with Tokai Teio, it gives you another way to get Professor of Curvature outside Kitasan Black, which means in certain scenarios, which even could potentially, if you have this card happen in this scenario, you could use Agnes Tachyon and something like Summer Maru Zensky with with Tokai Teio Wit, and then you just don't even use Kitasan Black. And then when it comes to the stat stick on her, it is not too bad here as well. So training effectiveness 1% for every 30 combined support bonds, up to 20%. So when you max all your bonds, you end up at a 20% training effect. Friendship bonus 30%, wit recovery 5. Typical things you see on your wit cards. Initial friendship, another one, low. All of these cards are a lot lower than some of the others that have like 30, 35, and 40 initial friendship. You start with 20, only 5 race bonus. Special priority, not too high, but then again, a lot of our wit cards are kind of in that situation. Speed and wit bonus. So overall, pretty solid stat stick, but it is more targeted towards wit specifically because it also doesn't have well, it does have training effectiveness. Sorry, it's up in the unique though. But it's got to get spun up to make it work there. Now, when it comes to the actual hints, has a lot of good stuff in here. It's like your other Tokai Teio support card, prudent positioning, nimble nav, pace corners, kind of being some of the bigger ones for your pace tracers, pace straightawaiters as well down here in the skill from events. And so very, very good wit card, but she is a whale card. You whale out for her, and that gives you the flexibility to take Kitasan Black out of the deck and make things flow and work a little bit better. Now, if you've been playing pretty diligently and good with your pull since like day 1, you might be in a similar situation that I'm in, which she is my core borrow that I'll use whenever I feel like I need to use her, need to kick Kitasan Black out. Like potentially with this upcoming CM, I will probably use Agnes Tachyon and Summer Zensky as my 2 speed cards, borrow Tokai Teio, and then of course I have Light Hello, Super Creek as my other cards there. And now I do have a Super Creek that's MLB, and so it gives me that ability to bring her. And there's a lot of CMs that it's going to be the same situation. Very, very good card, but also, in my opinion, a very good borrow, since most people, especially free-to-play, are broke at this point after going through the scenario banner. Then, the next one is the card she is paired with, which is Twin Turbo Guts. And so, Twin Turbo Guts is a Guts card, and Guts cards for aces really aren't popping off here in Grand Live. We'll see Guts cards come back to life in the next scenario, Grandmasters. Typically, you'll bring one in your deck, and so she is a potential one that you'll bring, being more for your front runners. Has a pretty decent stat stick here. You do have skill point bonus, speed bonus 2, initial friendship 20, a little bit more painful, special priority 65. Fairly high hint levels. It does have 50% hint frequency. And with the unique effect, she ramps up her friendship bonus up to 15 based on every time that you do training with her, so she can ramp up to being stronger through the run. When it comes to her actual skills, she has giving it 1000%, which is another frontrunner skill that you're not really going to see, only being on Tap Dance, City Ballroom, and Twin Turbo herself. And then looking at the whites, not too many other options that have it. And it just recently, I believe, came back with Tap Dance City. So potentially could be one you want to build into your parent chains. I will say with the white, I mean, it is a negative 0.04 drain. And there's a lot of skills like this where you'll have drains in it, like Racing Spark Stamina and trading it in for speed. So not all that too bad. But there's just so many other options that I feel like would be better than her. And so with that, kind of looking at all of these, the question on whether or not you should pull should be no. I think these are very easy skips. We just got done with Agnes Tachyon, like, hello. It's time to really start stockpiling. Unless, of course, on the Uma side, one of them's your Oshi. We already know Winning Ticket. I mean, Lightburb's going to be pulling Winning Ticket, since that's his favorite. But outside of people like him that have favorite here, easy skip. And then on the support cards, it's so close that this just feels like a bad banner to pull on. You're probably a little bit lower from like Hello Agnes Tachyon. And realistically, there's so many better options out here. If you're wanting to be a dolphin or a whale out a little bit, I find that you have some like Daitaku Helios, Major Palmer. You have a ton of Umas like Seeking the Pearl. You have Daichi Ruby Power, which will be a good one that you can get a couple copies of. Aston Machan's good. You have the reruns, of course, of Fine Motion, Maruzensky, or Super Creek and Mr. CB Wit. Have the Inari 1 Festival and Tamamo Cross Festival if you want to pick up one of them. And so, very easy skip. Just keep saving, deal with the current Wit cards you have. Hopefully you have Fine Motion or something else. And then when you get to the next scenario, we will all be wanting to pop off on the newest one, which is going to be Majoro Romanu. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the Tokai Teio Wit Muteki Guts, and the winning ticket and Narita Taishin Steampunk banner. But yeah, if you like my content, if you like, comment, subscribe, it really helps, and thanks for watching.